Happy New Year. Yeah. Happy New Year. Simple cases.
Turn my phone off.
Good thing.
Well, there's 14 here.
Yeah.
Right. That's easy.
I'm sorry?
Let's see.
It should be pretty straightforward. How many? Why do I have so many sheets? Minutes. Oh, the appointments.
Should have done it.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. Douglas later. But when you.
Oh,
Great question. 26.
great question.
If it does, I did it. That's a random extension. Yeah. But I don't want to. It's not on now.
Can you give me a second?
You want to
answer
look
that question?
You want
Yeah.
to should we start the
Let's do
meeting?
the election on. Are you here? Are you going to be here? Or do you have to go somewhere?
No, you're here.
Let's do the election.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. All right,
Yep.
I can do it.
the January 8th, 2026 meeting of the City of Bethlehem Planning Commission is called to order. It is 5:04 p.m. My name is Matthew Deschler. I'm an assistant solicitor for the city attached as counsel to the Planning Commission. I will be conducting the meeting or presiding over it for the very brief period of time it takes us to elect a chair of the commission, which will happen in about 30 seconds. So at this point, I would open the floor to nominations for the position of chair of the Bethlehem Planning Commission for the year 2026.
I'd like to nominate Rob Malosky as chairman.
Okay, there's been a nomination of Mr. Malosky. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, there's a second. Are there any additional nominations? Is there any discussion on Mr. Malosky's nomination? No discussion. Let's call a vote.
Mr. Pongratz,
Yes.
Mr. Burgos,
Yes.
Ms. Cohen,
Yes.
Mr. Malosky.
Yes.
Malozzi.
Yes.
Malosky, I'm sorry. Got confused there.
That's all right.
All right, it's unanimous. I turn the meeting over to our chair,
Thank you.
Malosky.
Thank you, Attorney Deschler. And this time I'm going to open up nominations for our vice chair. I would like to nominate at this time Mr. Matt Malozzi, who is not in attendance this evening, but I would like to nominate Matt Malozzi as vice chair. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Cohen. Any other nominations at this time for vice chair? Hearing none, nominations are closed. Any further discussion? Roll, please.
Mr. Pongratz,
Yes.
Mr. Burgos,
Yes.
Ms. Cohen,
Yes.
Mr. Malosky.
Yes, Mr. Malozzi will be our vice chair. And our final officer position is for the role of secretary. I would like to nominate Mr. Craig Pfeiffer to continue in that role. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Pongratz. Any other nominations at this time? Hearing none, nominations are closed. Any further discussion? Roll, please.
Mr. Pongratz,
Yes.
Mr. Burgos,
Yes.
Ms. Cohen,
Yes.
Mr. Malosky.
Yes. And the slate of officers for the 2026 year is complete. Welcome to the January meeting of the Bethlehem Planning Commission. My name is Rob Malosky. I'm the chair of the meeting. Other Planning Commission members included my immediate left, Ms. Joy Cohen, Mr. Eddie Burgos, and Mr. Rick Pongratz. We ask anyone here in attendance at this time to silence their cell phones. We will follow today's agenda with the items as listed. Each applicant will have an opportunity to come up and present to the Planning Commission as their agenda item is called. Following that presentation, city staff will have an opportunity to comment on and give a recommendation. Planning Commission members will have an opportunity to direct questions relating to the project to both the applicant and city staff. Following that discussion, any interested parties here in attendance will have an opportunity to ask questions or any comments pertaining to that project. Anyone who does have any comments tonight, we have a sign-in sheet up here at the front desk. We ask that after you're done, sign your name and address for the record. We will adhere to a 5-minute time limit for any public comment. We ask that all comments be related to the project under review and avoid repeat any already previously made assertions. After all interested parties have had an opportunity to speak, Planning Commission members will have a final opportunity to deliberate. The review of the Planning Commission is based upon the salvo, zoning ordinances, and other municipal ordinances. Decisions based upon those ordinances, recommendation of the city staff, pertinent public comment, and the public good. First agenda item is the approval of the December 11th, 2025 minutes. Any discussion on the minutes as read? I will accept a motion at this time.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the November 11th.
December.
December 11th Planning Commission meeting.
Motion made, Ms. Cohen. Do we have a second?
I second.
Second, Mr. Burgos. Roll, please.
Mr. Bongratz.
Yes.
Mr. Burgos.
Yes.
Ms. Cohen.
Yes.
Mr. Malosky.
Yes. Minutes approved. Our next agenda item is a land development plan at 6268 West Union Boulevard with the applicant. Please move forward here. We'll give you a minute or so to get yourself in order. And when you're ready, you can introduce yourself and begin.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Horvath with Keystone Consulting Engineers, project site design engineer. This is Nick Bazakis. He is the owner of the subject property. The plan proposes the redevelopment of what was formerly two lots of record containing single-family detached dwellings. They had been previously consolidated, so it is actually a single lot of record at this point, about 0.4 acres in size. We're proposing a 3.5-story, 8-unit apartment building on the property with a total of 14 parking spaces to the rear of the building. 13 parking spaces to the rear of the building. For your reference, this property is located on the north side of Union Boulevard, just behind the Sunoco gas station that fronts on Main Street. There are no stormwater management facilities. We're proposing some improvements to the front sidewalk, to the rear to provide a curb ramp. Water and sewer are already in existence, so we're proposing connections to the existing systems, landscaping, and some minimal site lighting in the parking area. Open up for any questions you might have. There's a City of Bethlehem review letter dated December 31. There are no conditions that Mr. Bazakis is unable to comply with. They're mainly fees and administrative items. One mention of an additional curb ramp at the northeast corner of the site, which we're happy to provide. I'm happy to take any questions you might have at this time.
Chairman?
Ms. Cohen, question.
Yes. The city letter from the City of Bethlehem includes general item number 2. The submitted architectural plans were submitted for a project that was done on East 4th Street, and request that you bring with you drawings that reflect this building for Union Boulevard. Do you have those with you?
We do not. I'd ask that Mr. Pfeiffer put the architecturals up on the screen. I'll just explain to you very quickly. What was provided was a 3.5-story building of the same dimensions as the proposed building here, with a 3-story in the front, with the slope. So it's 3.5 stories in the back. If you scroll down to maybe third or fourth page, you'll see some elevations. Right there you go. So the bottom right shows the rear of the building where you see what appears to be a 4-story building. Instead of the garage door and the 2 man doors, there would be 2 additional units in the lower level in this design. So if you can envision maybe a sliding door beneath each of the balconies, there'd still be a central access way to the hallway, and then a slab on grade, kind of a patio out back. So the building very closely represents what's proposed here at this site. It's just slight modification to convert what is here a garage and storage to 2 additional dwelling units.
So, Mr. Horvath, I, in all due respect, I appreciate the explanation, but I'm confused. You submitted drawings here from a Christian architects. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are they involved in this plan?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Is the December 31st memo, general item 2, clear in what they had asked in terms of the plans reflect 1275 East 4th, to reflect West Union Boulevard instead of 1275 East 4th Street? And Mr. Pfeiffer, that's something you feel free to jump in. I mean, the memo for December 31st, you want to elaborate on that?
Sure. It's
May I interrupt for a minute?
Ms. Cohen.
I've been an architect for 40 years, and it came to my knowledge that these were submitted without the knowledge of the architect. Has that since been resolved? When I
Did you-
spoke with
you
them
spoke with the
yesterday,
architect?
Oh, yeah,
they were
I
not
spoke with
the architects of this
Mark.
project.
I spoke with Mark. Actually, he's meeting me tonight.
As of yesterday, that's not the case. So I just want to clarify that has been resolved.
Yes, it has.
Thank you.
Mr. Pfeiffer, before Ms. Cohen spoke, if you want to elaborate on this.
certainly. So under general item number 2, we do talk about the architectural submission being exactly what was constructed on East 4th Street at 1275. It is a 6-unit building as opposed to an 8-unit building, and it is showing context, neighborhood context of what is on East 4th Street and not as what is on Union Boulevard. Therefore, we did ask the applicant to provide current drawings to us for your consideration this evening.
And when were they notified on that?
The letter was issued on the 31st of December.
So almost more than a week ago, correct?
That is correct.
I hope Mr. Horvath, you understand. I mean, I can't remember anything that's been in front of us that the plans don't definitely have, relate to the project at the site.
Honestly, I really didn't think it was that big of a stretch in terms of what we're proposing and to provide an adequate representation of that using this drawing. It's going to have the same number of windows. It's going to have the center hall, kind of layout. It's going to have 3 stories in the front and 4 stories in the back. It's going to have the same pitch to the roof. So really, it was out of no disrespect whatsoever that we didn't do this. It was more just, I guess, me not quite understanding the importance that you placed on these drawings. So I apologize to the board.
And I can appreciate that, but it's obviously we have a procedure here that we try to follow, and certainly I don't think this committee wants to be the group that sets a precedent that says, here, we'll utilize these just as a reference, albeit they might be the same, and then down the road, any other future development that occurs within our city is followed, and then a precedent was set in this case. That's just me. Again, Counselor, I don't know if I'm wrong here. Let me know. But certainly it seems like there was adequate time from December 31st to today to submit the architectural plans and elevations as it pertains to the project on West Union.
I don't disagree. There probably was time to do that. Again, I apologize, and maybe it was just my lack of understanding. And then past, and this may have been prior to this board and your positions on the matter, is that we would submit renderings, we would submit other illustrations of the building to provide an idea, to provide a concept that would be, implemented, as opposed to, for instance, the Boyd or the Wells Fargo building. They talked about how facade materials haven't quite been picked out and things may change in terms of colors and things like, and I get it. It's important for neighborhood context. And I think Mr. Bazakis is very sensitive to that as well. I mean, even here, looking at the adjacent buildings, they're, reminiscent of the same age, early 1900s type structures. So it really just was a lack of understanding on my part. And I hope that you're able to see this as not, trying to circumvent or some way, minimize the importance.
No, I wouldn't.
Wasn't aware.
No, I wouldn't say that, Mr. Horvath. I would say it's just trying to follow the procedure that
Yeah.
that the city administration would like to see followed. And
Yeah.
the fact that it was mentioned there in that memo on December 31st, I certainly don't want to be the one to, kind of set a precedent.
Yeah.
We have had in the past renderings that are utilized, but a lot of times they're done, especially with like a sketch plan review.
Okay.
This is a land development plan that we're trying to prove. And I do not want you to misinterpret, and I'm just speaking for myself. I'll give other members here to say, but certainly I think it's a good infill plan but we want to make sure that you're kind of following everything by the procedure that we asked. Mr. Pfeiffer, other than that item, is there anything else from that memo that needs to be pointed out?
Mr. Horvath already mentioned some of the stuff. I'll just be quick in my reiteration. There's a tapping fee of $11,000, 801. There's a $500 impervious coverage fee. There's a recreation fee of $9,000. These will all be addressed when we do a developer's agreement with Mr. Bazakis. Other than that, we've already talked about the other item that's on the letter.
So the letter itself is pretty clean,
Right.
other than that
Right.
item there that we've pointed out. Counselor, is there, moving forward with this, is the expiration of this noted when it runs out? And if so, are we able to grant them an extension? They would have to agree to it. How does that work?
Well, I believe based on the date of the land development plan, this was submitted on October 31st, 2025, which would give this board, end of January, basically 90 days to render a decision. And this is our only meeting in January. So this is a time when we have to render a decision unless the applicant were to grant us an extension past the 90 days to do so.
So you're saying that the applicant would have to agree to an extension? Is that
Yes.
confused on that?
No, it's always the applicant, because the applicant is entitled to a decision within 90 days of submission of the plan or the application. And if the applicant doesn't grant us a extension, there's a deemed approval of the plan.
Mr. Horvath, is that something you'd be willing to agree upon?
If the commission is insistent upon it, I'd certainly prefer to provide the requested information, and Mr. Bazakis has no problem doing so, but as opposed to coming back to the next meeting. But I don't want to circumvent or undercut the board's interest in these renderings or your ask you to make an opinion without, fully being in favor of, what you're seeing here in the project in general. So if that's important, if that's a necessity in order to make you feel comfortable in your decision to grant conditional final approval of the project, we'll certainly do that. If we could come up with a way where we would provide those renderings to the planning department, and if the planning department feels that they're in any way different or otherwise, misrepresented by what's shown here, maybe then we could come back to the planning commission to present the renderings. But if they're, for all intents and purposes, the same as what we've shown here, we present them to Mr. Pfeiffer with the fourth floor or the lower level units, everything would kind of proceed along with that conditional approval. That would be my request.
Yeah. Or we can. I'm going to open it up to the other members of the planning commission if there's any other comments, questions, discussion on this.
I mean, we kind of said it. I would need to see a clear rendering of what this is going to look like to feel confident. I can't just base it off of a different project.
Mr. Burrows, anything?
I agree with Rich, what he's saying about.
Ms. Cohen, anything?
I certainly agree. Just to reiterate, it's inappropriate that these were submitted without the architect's knowledge at the time of submission. And I would appreciate if we could ask for that extension.
It would be to February 12th.
To the February meeting? Mr. Horvath,
The extension request under the MPC does need to be in writing.
I understand.
Um,
I can do that following the meeting here. I'll send it into the office on Friday, tomorrow.
again, I'll repeat what I said. I think the memo is clear in what they requested, but I also think, believe me, the memo's pretty neat, and I'm confident. Again, I don't want to speak for everyone else. I think it's a good project, but we have to make sure that we kind of follow the procedure in terms of that.
I do understand. I think just to give a quick explanation of Mr. Bezakis' position is that these architectural plans, they're not an insignificant investment in this project. And until you have essentially a conditional approval, it's not typical that you have fully developed architectural drawings to submit at the planning level. It's a unique situation that the city has created here. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's unique. It requires more of an investment up front before things have been fully solidified with respect to planning. So if something had changed, or if the building height had changed, or if the zoning officer had said, well, we're not in favor of this 3.5-story building, we need to go down to a 3-story building, then that money is then further impounded by or compounded by having to do those revisions. So again, I understand where your position is, and we will issue the extension. There was no disrespect meant by presenting these plans. Mr. Bezakis has had every intention of developing these plans further with the architect of record. It wasn't something we were attempting to plagiarize or otherwise use in a manner that was inappropriate. So we will provide the updated drawings as requested. We'll provide the extension of time, and we will come back and see you in February.
And Counselor, on the record, what moving forward, and do we just leave it at that? Do we have to act on that?
Well, you can accept the request for the extension, and you can make a motion and have a vote on that.
I mean,
And just so we're clear, so you're willing to grant the commission a 30-day extension? Let me just get the math right. So it would be normally November 30th and December 30th, and then January 29th. So February 28th.
As long as they do it beyond
February
February 12th,
meeting.
they're
Yeah.
fine.
Our meeting's not February 28th.
Right.
That's when the extension would run to.
Sure.
Okay, so you will grant us a 30-day extension or through February 28th, 2026 to render a decision under the MPC. Yes?
Yes.
I make a motion that we grant their request for an extension on the 6268 West Union Boulevard Land Development Plan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Cohen, roll, please.
Mr. Pongratz,
Yes.
Mr. Burgos,
Yes.
Ms. Cohen,
Yes.
Mr. Malasky.
Yes, thank you. We'll see you in a month. Thanks so much. Our next agenda item is for the land development plan at 320 East First Street, the location of steel ice. We ask that the applicant move forward. Give me a minute or so here to get yourself squared away, and when you're ready to introduce yourself, you may begin.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mary Bockert. I'm with Bowler Engineering, representing the engineering firm here for the application with the Steel Ice Center, the entity being ENC 23 LLC. I also have Keith Krem with me here, owner of the facility. We were before you, I believe, in October for a sketch plan application, so I think probably all of you are familiar with what we want to do here. I'm happy to run through everything again, but the plan hasn't substantially changed. So we're still looking at the same 34,000 square foot expansion, including the fitness facility. Programming hasn't changed. What has advanced is the stormwater is not only designed, but we do have Act 167 approval. And we do also have the city engineering comment letter dated December 17th.
So, Mr. Pfeiffer, if you don't mind, for anyone here in attendance, can we pull that up on the screen and particularly show the area of the land, the lot where the new...
Absolutely. Sure. So what we're looking at is a 3.59 acre lot situated at the corner of East Front Street and Polk Street. The existing steel ice facility is at the north side of the property. And the expansion area is the gray shaded area on the rear of the plan there. So exactly where the mouse is circulating now in the lawn area is proposed to be expansion for the third sheet of ice.
You want to elaborate a little bit, because we do have a memo, which I'm sure you received from the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission. Apparently that land is located in the floodplain, and you had mentioned stormwater management. You want to elaborate on that?
Yes, so we do have the planning comments from the LVPC, but we do also have Act 167 consistency. So the second part of the attachment to that letter, labeled as Attachment 1, does list that the drainage plan has been found to be consistent with the Act 167 requirements.
Thank
So
you.
we have satisfied that.
Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you. Mr. Pfeiffer, anything else from the December 17th memo that you'd like to highlight?
Certainly. So to the applicant's credit, they did a sketch plan, which we always are appreciative of. They were pretty clean when they came in with the sketch plan review. They're pretty clean with this letter as well. We do note a couple items here under stormwater engineering that there's an issue of an MPDES permit that needs to be approved by DEP. There's a utility easement that needs to be finalized. These are things that will be taken care of during the developer's agreement process. And typically we make it a recordable requirement prior to the final release of security. That gives the applicant a little bit more time to work on these items, and it protects the city at the same time. The city forester had some questions about street trees. I'm sure we can work that out between the engineer and our office. The traffic engineer had indicated some concerns about how traffic would be handled when you had peak events, not only at Steel Ice, but also anything going on with Arts Quest and some of the events that are held over at Steel Stacks. That is something that is not a requirement, but something that they can address in a narrative on how they plan to do that. I had mentioned in the last time that we are starting to circle in our parking authority more on some of these land developments where there is adjacent parking facilities. Literally a stone's throw from this facility is a parking deck. So the applicant is encouraged to reach out to the Bethlehem Parking Authority to figure out ways that they can mitigate traffic issues when you have multiple peak events at any one time. The zoning administrator also pointed out the street tree issue. And under our general comments, we do represent the parking issue that's been a long-going item. It's just a matter of the applicant providing something to us in writing that indicates that they still have the ability to use the adjacent surface parking lot nearby the steel stacks.
And Mr. Krim, have you had a lot of overflow, or have you had many people that have come down that may have utilized the new parking garage and then walked over? It's not that far of a foot traffic, not that far of a walk. Have you found that to be needed at all, or?
Actually, in our current state, no. We've been able to handle everything with the adjacent parking lot and the parking needs that we have. We're in contact already with the Bethlehem Parking Authority, and they did say there's capacity in that garage if we ever did need it. So we have had that contact, but we've been able to manage everything, including our peak event, which does occur during Music Fest. So our busiest 2 weekends of the year are actually the bookends of Music Fest. And we manage all of the traffic, manage our lots, and have done that for the last 18 years.
Good.
So we've always hosted that event for the
Good.
last
And
18
certainly you would, I don't know, advertise somehow, let it be known for events at the rink. If there is any parking issue, they can utilize.
Yeah, and we do that. We do that now, and we have parking attendants that we staff at both our lot that's on our facility and the lot across the street.
Okay, good. Is there anything else, Ms. Bacher, from the December 17th memo that you're not in compliance with? You feel you and your client are fine with everything that the city pointed out in that memo?
I don't think there's anything that we can't work through. Actually, the majority of the comments are just related to some of the landscape code sections referencing the Odes Aldo.
Great. Great. Anyone from the Planning Commission have any questions this time as it relates to the project at 320 East First Street?
Yes.
Ms. Cohen.
Hi. Is there any, can you talk about anything in the Environmental Advisory Council letter that you are proposing?
Did you have any specific portions of it that you'd like to discuss?
Any alternative energy landscaping that you've used that's
Sure. So landscaping, we do strive to use native plantings wherever we can. Selfishly, we get stormwater credit for MPDS on that. So it's a win for everybody there. As to the building, I do have the architect with me from Highland Associates if you'd like to speak with them about materials.
Sure.
Do you want to come up?
Good evening. My name is Tracy Nelson Westcott with Highland Associates, and we are the architect and engineer of record. So for this building, we are looking at using energy efficient HVAC units, and the LED fixtures, all of our lighting fixtures have fully dimmable, and they are tied to lighting controls. At the front of the, well, I guess I don't know if that's the front or not, but at the new facade we're creating, we're trying to use some daylighting within the space. So we have expansive windows so that we can use that natural daylighting. In terms of materials, interior materials and exterior materials, we're looking at recycled content and extreme durability. We know that this facility gets a lot of use. And so when we look at products and we start to choose those, we want to make sure that they can last for a long time. So we're trying to do the investment that way. There was a nod to a green roof. We did explore it. It doesn't, we don't really have the space for it. We have rooftop units up on that roof. We have a screen around it so that it's not visible from the street, and it didn't really pan out. So we did explore it. Were there any other specific items you wanted me to touch on?
I assume the building's going to be as efficient as required.
Yeah, so this third sheet is very vulnerable to temperature changes. Of course, we need to keep it very cold. In the summer, it gets quite warm. So we are looking at making sure that envelope is tight and that our units do work with it. We've got to deal with dew points. We have to deal with humidity. So everything has been designed to accommodate that sheet of ice. It's a little bit different.
Thank you. And usually the EAC letter addresses bike racks and walkability in the area. Are bike racks provided on the site?
I don't believe they are, but I don't think.
We're not opposed to any of that.
Thank you.
And certainly as your lot grows, right, you're adding another rink, that might be something you definitely want to consider is some of the local residents in Bethlehem, whether on the south side or the north side, can ride their bike there. That's something always that we try to recommend. So appreciate that.
Yes, of course.
Anyone else? Anyone here in attendance have any comment or questions that pertains to the project at Steel Ice? Okay, seeing none, I want to commend you again for coming in prior for a sketch plan review. It just kind of helps everything move along much smoother and quicker. I'm excited for this. I was just down there, obviously, for Chris Kindlemart and pointed out to my family there's going to be another ice rink there. So it's very exciting. And I have been in that area when you are busy and when there are events going on, and commend you. And I know you'll continue to manage traffic control and things of that nature when parking and whatnot. So
Appreciate that.
anything else, Mr. Pfeiffer?
I have nothing else to add. Thank you.
I will entertain a motion at this time.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the project at 320 East First Street, Steel Ice, based contingent upon meeting the requirements of the December 17th City of Bethlehem letter and referencing the letter from, the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission and the Environmental Advisory Committee letters.
Motion made, Ms. Cohen. Do we have a second?
I second.
Second, Mr. Pongratz. Roll, please.
Mr. Pongratz,
Yes.
Mr. Burgos,
Yes.
Ms. Cohen,
Yes.
Mr. Molosky.
Yes, thank you very much. Best of luck moving forward. Thank you. Mr. Pfeiffer, general discussion items, things that are upcoming. Obviously, after tonight's agenda, we know that we'll have another return in February. Anything else that needs to be put from the upcoming agenda items for February? I didn't want to bombard that month, but if it's something we have to add, so be it.
Mr. Molosky, the way you run meetings, I'm never concerned about them going long. So we do have one other case that should be in front of you. This came before you as a sketch plan. This is the Township Line Road, used to be known as the Gold Tract. It's now referred to as Autumn Estates. And this is the parcel that is partially in the city of Bethlehem and ostensibly in Bethlehem Township. And so that will most
Ostensibly or actually?
I think
Actually,
the percentage
listen-
was like 80-20 or
lost
something,
in my
right?
chops earlier about mispronouncing another word too. So yes, it is a majority of the land is within Bethlehem.
65 residential lots, of which 19
Yes.
are in our city.
As long
Yes.
as we're sure.
Yes.
And that expires when?
That expiration is
March.
the 11th of March.
So that'll be on the February agenda.
That is correct.
Okay.
Unless something comes out of that letter that the applicant wants
Right,
to address
right.
before they come before you.
Right. Anything else?
That's everything.
Mm.
This is our slower time of the year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is reflective of that, but rest assured it will pick back up.
Any other questions from Planning Commission?
Yes, sir.
Not, I make a motion to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thanks. See you next month.